I'm here to make my system better, not to make money. If my system becomes better, it's gonna make me money, you know. And one thing about my strategy, I try and do my best to make it as simple as possible. Welcome back to another YouTube video of FLAIR where we make trading very simple. Now if you're new here, please make sure to click the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, because I post content like this every single Sunday. Now in today's video, we're going through a lot of trade breakdowns. A lot of the trades have been taken throughout the week. Now if you're still interested in the special, guys, I've extended it to the 30th of April. This is the poster over here. Please make sure to check it out if you are interested. But nonetheless, let's get into the breakdown. All right, so this is gold on the daily time frame. I'll break it down so it's easy, guys. But with gold, as much as it is, we've been pushing all the way to the top. Clean cut finish. It's an uptrend all the way to the top. We've made this low and we've made this high, right? So now another thing that I always usually wait for is that this indicator always shows what? These red dots on top to confirm this is a high, right? So right now we can't confirm that this is a high yet, but based when you go over to the lower time frame, obviously it makes sense, right? So for the guys who are interested also with this indicator, because I know a lot of you guys will be commenting this, you know. So this is swing points and fair value gaps. This is what I use. I highlight intermediate swing points and swing highs, you know, and then it's pivot candles is 2. This is the most important one actually, because it helps a lot. And then the highs are red and then the lows are green. Then the imbalance color is yellow, right? So coming back to the chart, right? Looking at gold on the daily time frame, my anticipation is that I still predict that this guy's gonna fall a little bit just before we get like price to push all the way to the top to make a new all-time high, then eventually break down again to make a new all-time high. Like that's how the market genuinely moves, right? But now in terms of like how we're gonna execute this and in terms of entry, it's the pure premise of premium and discount, right? We pull up the Gantt box all the way to the top and we can see that, okay, cool, gold is literally by the halfway point of the whole range that it has made, right? So you can anticipate that during the week, price could come in over here, react over here, but we understand that it's gonna drop a little bit much more deeper so we can get in entries, right? Now, Mr. Flair, where are we gonna get in terms of entries? This is where I am planning on tapping in, right? We come in over here. This is the Fibonacci retracement tool. Once again, I will show you guys because I know someone will comment, right? So this is 0, 0.73, 0.61. Just pause the video and highlight this one. So this one is really not that important. I just put it there for stop loss placement, but that one is not really relevant. But yeah, so with the Fibonacci retracement tool, it's telling us this is the area that we're supposed to be executing off of, right? We're gonna come in over here with our buy, right? Stop loss just literally below the low and take profit all the way to the top. Then we can remove this. Then it's showing us this is what we're going to be looking for, right? Even in the previous trend, this is what happened, right? Check this out. This is the most low. That is the all-time high that it had made, right? Price pushed all the way to the downside and came to where? To the 73% to fill it out, and then it pushed all the way to the top. So that's the same thing we're anticipating with this guy. We're just going to be patient more than anything else, allowing it to come to us more than chasing the price. But for my anticipation is that at least we gotta get some reaction relatively from this point to push all the way to the top to make a new all-time high. And that's what I do see for gold. And gold has been the pair that I've been focusing on a lot more often, mainly because it's the one that pays a lot and it's the one that at least is somewhat predictable in the markets that we have. That's very, very, very unpredictable, right? So now let's move over to the next pair so we can break it down. All right. So this is Nasdaq on the 1 month time frame. This is on the monthly time frame, right? We see that price pushed all the way to the downside and it reacted and then it pushed all the way to the top, right? We didn't catch this one because I was looking at Nasdaq from like a wider perspective. This is on the 3 month time frame. My anticipation is that Nasdaq will come all the way to the downside to fill out this fair value gap over here. But with everything happening fundamentally, it makes sense why Nasdaq is climbing all the way to the top, guys, right? So what I have seen is that, okay, cool, we got a rejection over here and price pushed all the way to the top. It's probably going to close like this. NFP is probably going to be the one that really shows us what we're going to be looking for. But now if I remove everything, right, and then look at it as if we didn't catch any entry, what am I gonna do now to move forward, right? To go on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, what we can see that, okay, cool, price did make this low push all the way to the top after it took out this low over here, right? Now we can go over to the daily time frame to see if we can catch like some minute entries, maybe the 4 hour time frame, right? So check it out on the 4 hour time frame. What we can see is that price did make a low over here. This was the potential entry actually. Price did make that entry over here. Price pushed all the way to the downside, respected this zone, and then pushed all the way to the top. TP1, TP2 hit, right? So now with Nasdaq, one thing about indices, guys, I won't lie to you, like the entry opportunities are there. It's just that I don't want to be trading like prop firm challenges, especially with indices, mainly because of like the unpredictability of these pairs. Like, as much as it is, guys, this is very volatile. This is on the 4-hour time frame, so it's like every 4-hour interval, as you can see, it's like it has been moving. So the previous week it's been really slow, really sluggish, as you can see, compared to the other weeks. So that's why I kind of stood away from the indices. And also I noticed for myself is like my biases were contradicting itself. So it's like, especially with me, when my biases start contradicting, rather not take any trades. If you don't understand what's happening, what's the point of you trying to trade, right? So in this instance, this was a missed entry, this one over here, right? Bingo bango. Relatively over here, stop loss on the low, TP1, TP2, right? So this is a missed entry that we could have taken, but we didn't catch out. But this just shows you the premise of the strategy. Is like, it works. There's periods in time where I do catch L's, like consistent L's, like maybe 4 losses in a row. But when you start sticking with the strategy, that's what I'm saying. The strategy you're trading is your girlfriend. You have to stay with it long term to see results. And with these types of situations, you know, unfortunately, this was a missed one, but it is what it is, right? So in this instance, what we are waiting for more from Nasdaq is that this high to be broken properly, then we make a nice high, then this is going to be a low, this is going to be a high, and then what we're going to do, we're going to pull out our Fibonacci retracement tool once again from bottom to top, and then our entry is going to be relatively similar over here, right? So then we allow price to come to us, bingo bango, right, entry, and then push all the way to the top, guys. Like, one thing about my strategy, I try and do my best to make it as simple as possible. If you're already gaining value from the YouTube channel, right, or watching these videos, imagine if you were in the mentorship, right? Like, trust me, guys, when you're there, it's so much better because I break down these markets like this on Sunday. Like, I literally sit down with the guys. I break down close to, let me show you the pairs that we actually break down. All of these pairs, the DXY, Euro USD, GBP, all of these pairs is what I go through on Sunday. I even highlight the ones that are the most profitable ones. It's just that when I come to the YouTube videos, I just make sure that I give you guys the best setups possible, so you guys catch the nice entries, right? But this is what I do see for Nasdaq. Let's move over to the next. All right, so this is US30 on the monthly time frame, right? As we can see, same thing with US30, a huge wick on the monthly time frame. And this is probably because it respected this zone over here, right? As you can see. So with US30 is another entry that we could have taken. And then it's looking really nice. Clean cut finish. Price respected the zone over here and pushed all the way to the top, right? So indices are looking very good now. For me, I just wanted a correct bias. Like, if we're going to be on a bullish, let us be on a bullish run, so I can understand that whenever I do jump into the markets, I can hold it very, very, very long term, right? So this is what we do see for a Dow Jones US30. So now this one, we're still currently waiting for the TP to be hit. If we probably go over to like the 4-hour time frame, maybe we can even catch like an entry on the lower time frame as well, right? So with this one as well, it's like they literally copy and paste, guys, identical. Check this out. I'll remove the previous one that we had. Look at this, right? Bottom all the way to the top. Price respected the zone and then is heading over for TP1 and 2, right? This is just a testament to show you guys, like, listen, guys, if you understand what you're doing, you can be catching these types of entries. Clean cut sweep, guys. You get what I mean? So yeah, TP1, TP2 is what I'm looking for, especially with this one. US30 looks so much better than Nasdaq, actually, based off of the market reactions, right? But also remember, this is the 4-hour time frame, guys. Look at the volatility. You get what I mean? Like, the volatility is what a lot of traders get marinated off of, right? So now in terms of entry, what we are waiting for is we need an all-time high or a new high to be formed first before we can pull out any Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom all the way to the top. Very similar, so we can marinate these types of entries, right? So that's what we are looking for Dow Jones. We'll break over the last pair called Usdzar, and then show you the trades that we took on this one. It's actually a beautiful, marvelous entry that we're waiting for. There's more entries for sure, guys. I'll be sending them on the Discord. I know I haven't been promoting the Discord, guys. The link will be in the description. It's just that I've been focusing so much on the clients, like I haven't gotten time to give out like the free signals or take care of the guys who are in the Discord, guys. But if you are interested, guys, the Discord is there. We're like 200 members. Let's get it all the way to 1,000, guys. Like, who says we can't, you know? So let's move over to the next pair. All right, so this is Usdzar on the daily time frame. I think this is the trade that I actually broke down last week on the previous week's breakdown. I'll probably put the link over here. You can check it out.
So with this one, I've been planning on buying it, right? So in my home country, I stay in South Africa, guys. We use the South African rand, right? So I usually trade it against the dollar, and I know for sure that the dollar is going to gain value eventually, right? So this is a point that I wanted to buy it, right? For currency pairs, it's 73% in terms of like the retracement or how far it retraces deeply. And I saw this nice support zone as well. This was another confidence for me to take the trade. It was a clean cut entry, guys. I'll even post a screenshot over here. I think I will even posted this on my Instagram. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, guys. Link is in the description. But this was a clean cut entry. This one is nice. We got in over here. Price got tapped us in, reacted off of this zone over here. Nice fill out of the fair value gap, and we got price moving all the way to the top. Now when we go over to like the 4-hour time frame, maybe for the guys who are still waiting for entry is still possible, guys. Buys are still valid, like I say. Right, price push all the way to the top over here. We'll switch this one over to currencies, right? And I'll remove the entries that I have, right? I'll remove everything so we can see things on a much more beautiful basis, right? So this is what we can be going for. This is the entry that you could be taking for a scale in, right? We can come in over here, bingo bango, buy over here, right? Stop loss relatively below this low over here, and then TP all the way to the top. Now it's quite different, especially when we start taking trades on the 4-hour time frame. This is what I was saying like in the previous videos, adapting to the markets, right? Hence why with the Fibonacci retracement tool, I have this spot over here, right? I usually just customize it myself, and I come in over here and put like 111 like this, right? And then it shows me this area over here, right? So usually I'll put my stop loss over here, but based because now we're trading heavy volatility markets, and this is also on the 4-hour time frame, I do allow room for leeway, especially if I'm scaling on the lower time frames, right? This is what's called adapting to the markets, guys. I understand that this is usually where I put my stop loss at, but I've noticed that with the volatility, we usually get tapped out. It's not saying that we are wrong in terms of the strategy. We're just wrong in terms of our stop loss placement. Hence why I'm saying you need to adjust and manage the strategy accordingly, right? So if you can enter off of here, the take profit is all the way to the top over here. I'll probably do this. I'm not supposed to be doing this because it's giving like financial advice, but for the guys who know what they know, I don't know what they know, but could probably pause the video and do something with this information. It's looking really good. And then I'm predicting price is gonna push all the way to the top, make new all-time highs. Based off of the economy of my country, I don't believe it's going to sustain against the dollar, especially once the tariffs are reintroduced 3 months from now. So we just have to be patient, catch it on the low, make sure that whatever happens, like for me, what I always like to do is catch it on the low, and then whenever the tariffs happen, all the price action is gonna happen over here, but eventually like our entry is so sweet and so accurate, we're not gonna get really affected by the markets at that point in time, right? And then in terms of like psychology this week, it's always usually winging it and understanding that like, I'm gonna say what comes to my brain, and that's probably what someone needs to hear right now, you watching this, right? But in terms of psychology this week, I think I've spoken so much about discipline, patience, understanding that this is a process, understanding that you need to be patient. But one thing that I also want to mention as well is I actually made a video on this throughout the week, is like there's two different types of traders. There's traders who trade with intention, and there's traders who trade with desperation, right? You always want to be a trader that trades intentionally. Now, Mr. Flair, what do you mean trade intentionally? Basically an intentional trader understands that, okay, cool. Number one, I understand that I'm not going to be a millionaire overnight. As possible as it can be in the markets that we're in and the work that we do, we need to understand that, number one, intention needs to come from a good process, right? Now, if you're an intentional trader, you understand that a lot of your profits and a lot of the results you want are going to come from a good process. Backtesting, journaling, making sure that you're sitting down in the weekend, guys, like this, on a Sunday or on a Saturday, breaking down the markets for yourself, not going out, understanding, backtesting, you get it, I mean. That's a very good process, because number one, you're understanding your strategy. If I wasn't so focused on my strategy, guys, I wasn't gonna adjust my thing to this point. You get what I mean? I'm trading with intention. I'm trading to understand that I'm here to make my system better, not to make money. If my system becomes better, it's gonna make me money, and a lot of people do it different. Like, I need to make money, then my system is gonna be good. It doesn't work like that. Fix your system. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your systems. You get what I mean? And that's the same level as a trader, guys. You fall to the systems you have. This is my system, right? Back then, this is where I used to put my stop loss. That was my system, but it was failing me. I adapted to the system, and now things have been different. The results are different because you're adjusting your process and your system, right? Now, a desperate trader is a trader that's always in this consistent loop of depositing and blowing, right? The trader's desperate, right? Their process is even bad. They don't backtest, they don't journal, they over risk, they don't have a risk management plan, and that in turn blows their accounts. And because they're desperate, they're gonna deposit again and blow. And because they're desperate, they're gonna deposit again and blow. It's just the same loop that we have, guys, as traders, and you don't wanna be going through that, you know. So make sure that you understand your own mindset. Sit back and be like, okay, besides anything, what am I trading for? Am I trading because I'm desperate, and am I trading because I'm intentional? And you need to understand, like, the first step moving forward is to identify and be honest with yourself. And not saying that you're going to be trading intentional your whole trading career, guys. There will be times where you're trading out of desperation, right? Hence why I'm saying it's very important, right? If you can build a very solid system in the beginning, if you can build a lot of good habits in the beginning, because one thing you need to understand about Forex is you can do the wrong thing or you can do a right thing and still get paid at the end of the day. It's not very finite to say that, okay, when you do this exactly, you're gonna get money, you know. Even not following your rules sometimes can pay off, you get what I mean? But what I want you guys to say is understand that if you're trading with intention and understand that you want to adapt and build your system over time so it can make you money, then that's the type of journey you need to be going on as a trader, guys. But nonetheless, guys, if you watched to the end, I'm glad you did. If you're interested in the mentorship, guys, make sure to click the link in the description. It is going for the cheapest right now. It's at its discount, like premium and discount, literally, guys. But nonetheless, thank you for watching till the end. It is your mentor. Catch you guys next week. Signing out.